Hi everybody, welcome to this series of virtual handovers conducted here by Melbourne City Land Rover. Let's take a look at your brand new Discovery Sport. So we'll start off with the keyless entry. Key in my pocket or in my handbag. Literally hand on the inside. Once my hand's on the inside of the handle, car's going to pop open and get ready from there. To lock it, there's a little circle button through here, just press that. And the mirrors are in, car's all locked up. So moving into the back of the car, all the new Discovery Sports are going to be a 5+2 seat configuration. Pop this up, simple pull back from here, and then to get the headrest up, hand coming in from there. To release the headrest, this literally will come through from there, and that'll pop the seat down. So welcome to the inside of a Discovery Sport. For all intents and purposes, the car we're going to review today and go through is a P200 R Dynamic S. This has been optioned up with the interactive driver display and the heated seats. If there's ever any options that aren't shown in these handover videos, please feel free to touch base with the sales so we can explain them in detail. But this will be a pretty good all-round to start on. So we'll get started on the steering wheel. So coming onto the right-hand side, this is the cruise control buttons from here. So once you're at the desired speed you want to get to, say 100 kilometers an hour, just press set. You've got resume, and you've also got cancel down here. Every single Discovery Sport MY20 and onwards has been optioned up with the full drive pack, which is adaptive cruise control. And that's what these two buttons on the left and right are for. Once you're at say 100 k's an hour, the car in front, it starts slowing down. So you start slowing down. If you want to close the gap, press the button on the right. If you'd like to lengthen the gap for a bit more distance, just press the button on the left-hand side. And there'll be a visual representation in the interactive display. The button down here, this is for your lane departure warning. So this is to show that it's activated. You can switch it off at any time just by pressing that button, and that'll give you basically give you a bit of a vibration coming through. Blind spot monitors in the mirrors, and we'll walk through them in a bit. Cancel is for the cruise control, and you've got a speed limiter, which is basically going through a school zone or a construction zone at 40 k's an hour. You don't want the car to go over that speed. Get it to 40, press that button, and then it won't physically let you go over that speed unless you press the button again, or you completely flat the throttle where there's an emergency switch underneath. Horn in the middle, nice and easy, and across onto the left-hand side, this is going to be for your volume. So once we have our media on, we can literally use our finger to rotate around, which looks a bit awkward there, but typically you'd use your thumb as you go around. By coming through for here, this is to switch in between radio stations or CD tracks. Coming down for here, this will be your phone button with your Bluetooth. Once the phone call comes through, it'll show up a green, and then to hang up, it'll show red as well. This button through here will be your shortcut button. So by pressing that when you get into your own Disco Sport, you can customize what you want a short press and a long press to be on your car. The button down here will be for the voice control. Nice and easy. Phone, call contact, call Ben. Phone, call contact, call Gavin. Coming across this side, left-hand side will be your indicators, and your headlights are also from here. Your fog lights and rear fog lights are also activated from here as well. So we literally do that by switching this switch coming through in here, just on this side here behind. Coming through the other side as well, we've also got our windscreen wipers. So to go single wipe, one press down. To go to automatic, one click up. And then if you want to activate how sensitive it is, you just use this dial coming in here. Okay. Front washers, bring it towards you. And for the rear washer, just press the button on the end of the stalk. And then for the rear wiper, you actually just have this little switch here. Okay. Steering wheel adjustment, just underneath on a Disco Sport, single pull back down, steering wheel will come up and down. Moving into the interactive driver display, we just press the menu button here. Once the car's stationary, that's going to bring us into here. In our display, we can adjust our info panel. We can also adjust the layout. So by going to layout, we can go 2 dials. We can do a 1 dial setup, which gives you the rev, nav across on the right-hand side, and whatever you want to have on the left-hand side. What we would suggest is probably do 2 dial, and then you can actually go full map. So if we go up from here, go to a full map. By pressing the menu button again, let's go to layout, and let's go back to 2 dials. You can also have media, driver assistance, however you want it to be. By coming up to here, we can then go across the left to our trip computer. Coming across the left as well, this shows our collision avoidance. So all Discovery Sports have a autonomous emergency braking setup, and they also have a pedestrian airbag. In here, you can actually adjust how sensitive you want that to be, i.e. this is a system we probably don't suggest testing out, but it's all in there. You can adjust how sensitive it'd be. Basically, if it detects you're gonna have an accident, it'll go to full emergency brakes coming through. With the blind spot assist, this is probably something I'd definitely suggest. The cars all have blind spot monitors. You can have it in as alert, so if you're going to steer into the lane and there's a car coming, it'll show up an alert. What we would probably suggest is do steering assist, i.e. you're driving on the freeway, car's coming in, you go to turn the wheel, it'll actually steer the car back in as well. tool through here, and we can customize this on pickup as well for you, or using the virtual handover videos as well. Through your info panel, this is probably what I would suggest. Go into the map or the media, most people like to have, or even the driver assistance, and if we press up and up again, we now get 2 dials with the map coming into the inside, which typically is the most popular variant. Up the top we've got the time, the red P showing we've got the park brake on right up the top there, the temperature, revs, and what gear we're in, also what off-road mode we're in, and then we've got the speed zone coming across here just to the left. That's going to work off what speed zone you're currently driving. Bottom left here will be your fuel consumption, so it's showing we've got a 3/4 full tank. The button under here, just with my fingers pointing now, that'll be how many Ks the car's done and how many Ks the car's got till empty. To adjust that info, just press the button on the end of the left-hand stalk, okay? Which will be coming across now. Easy. So by pressing this button here, this will rotate you through what information you've got coming up there. All right, cool. Let's start off at the top home screen coming in here. So this will be your home setup where it'll go straight to your nav, media, and phone. You can also swipe across this just like an iPad, okay? Which takes you to the next menu coming over to the right-hand side. But if you swipe to the left-hand side, you can actually do a long press here and customize your own homepage. So just do a long press, hold it down, you get these little boxes come up, press the plus, you can say, right, I want my navigation, and you can actually move your nav to where you want it to be. Make it a little bit bigger, make it a bit smaller as you go, which is pretty cool. By going back in the bottom right, we'll just swipe across here, start off navigation. Like most of the new Land Rovers, this is internet powered if you want it to be, which you just put a SIM card, a data-only SIM card into the center console. Let's just work with off menu. So it will remember any petrol stations. You can turn on My Commute, so it'll memorize where you're driving. Let's just jump into the map now. Just have the map going at all times, just press that. To go back, we just press the arrow there, and we press the menu button here, which is the little boxes. And to type in a destination, we'll just go to show that again. Nice and easy, just like a search bar on a computer. And you'll notice it's very quick, very responsive. If you're a little bit old school and you'd rather have it, say, instead of just typing it all in, you can actually go into here and press this little button up the top right, and then it'll go to your more conventional city, road, town as you're going through, okay? Once you're in there, let's just go 351 Ingle Street. We'll just go to the little search button here. So that's where we want to go. Always gives us choices. We can go route options, and that'll show, you know, whether there's any route preferences, whether we want to go traffic, motorways, toll roads, these kind of things as well. Okay, it's pretty nice and straightforward. The other option coming through here will be media. Okay, so once you go into media, your volume control is always here, so you can always switch it straight off. But for your media, let's just work on it alone. So you've got source, so radio, iPod, whatever you've got running through there. With our band, FM and AM, digital radio stations will also be the third option coming through there. And then what you've got your favorites. What I would suggest, because a lot of this car's built around customization, just cycle through here. And you might say, I don't want to listen to 101 or Gold, or 3MBS, but I really love Triple R. And then what that will do, your favorite screen will be much shorter, much simpler. Okay. Coming across to here to your phone, once the phone's connected, nice and easy, settings on your iPhone, go through, set it all up through from there, nice and straightforward. Once it's connected through the Bluetooth, you can also connect through Apple CarPlay. Coming back, you can also always get this little back section coming through there. For your eco data, this will show how fuel efficient you've been driving, your energy impact. It also gives you your history, so you can see what kind of fuel efficiency you've been reaching on your journeys. Coming back through here, the cameras, as soon as we go into reverse, the reversing camera will pop up. That just gives us a constant feed in case you ever need to see what's coming out the back of the car. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay both activated through here. White iPhone cord or your typical Android Auto cord, plug it straight in, and then it'll come through the separate menu, which we'll go through as well. Valet mode, once we go into here, you enter in a PIN number that won't show your home address or any of your last driven destinations. We'll also double deadlock the glove boxes as well, okay? Web browser and live services, that's both if you have your car connected to the internet, pretty self-explanatory, the car becomes a web browser. Contacts will be your Bluetooth contacts coming through. Voice is for your voice control, okay? So you can actually train it for certain commands as well. Bluetooth settings, where you pair your Bluetooth. The off-road settings, pretty nice and cool. So, I'll just press OK. Off-road information coming through. So this will give us a real-time display of what's happening with the car, with the wheels, and also where the power's going with the diff as well, and if there's any slip coming through. We can also jump across to here. This will give us slope information, so let us know what angles we're on, and also get a full compass reading as well. By going to the terrain response, this is basically telling us what program we're in. So Discovery Sport has 5 programs. We have Eco Mode, we have Comfort Mode, which is what it's going to spend most of its life in. And we also have Grass, Gravel, Snow, so for any low grip surfaces, Mud and Ruts for anything with a little bit more slip, and Sand Mode as well for driving on the beaches. The all-new Discovery Sport's also got all-terrain progress control. It's also got hill descent control. So we'll come down to this little screen here. By pressing our little off-road button here, we can then activate the dial becomes climate control, actually comes across, will actually change. With auto, you can also just leave it in automatic terrain response, and that will basically, you can just drive along as you need to. But this way is like your way of saying to the car, I want to drive in these certain conditions as you're going through, okay? By coming through here, we've also got hill descent control, which we can activate coming through here. Hill descent control will be controlling you down a small descent, take your feet off the pedals, and just use the cruise control buttons to adjust the speed. And you also have all-terrain progress control, which is in effect, you pop it into here, select the gear you want to get into. So we'll go to say first gear, and then basically it's like a low-speed cruise control as we're going through from there. With the off-roading things, we definitely suggest doing the Land Rover Experience Day. They're really good. There's a really good team. They're very experienced, and they'll be able to walk you through in a lot more detail. This is a little bit of a brief overview for you today. We'll just go back into the normal screen. We'll turn off our ATPC. So, coming across to here, we've also got our vehicle dimensions, if you're ever unsure, going to car parks and these kind of things, the heights and the lengths. And you've also then got your smart settings. Smart settings are pretty cool. You're having a lot of people that really like it. You basically come into here, you can create yourself a new profile. And now we can add the key. So as soon as I get into my key with my settings, my radio stations are going to pop up. My settings for everything's going to pop up as well. If you're sharing cars, definitely a good system to use. Coming down to the bottom screen, pretty self-explanatory. Audio is across in the top left. Automatic climate control is going to be dual zone in these cars. So once you've got the temperature to where you want it to be, just pop it onto auto. And a horrible day like today in Melbourne, so literally go front demist coming through from here. On a hot, horrible day, literally press max AC and then it'll give you a full blast version coming through. Air conditioning, rear demister, and recirculation through here. Now you notice the dual zone climate control buttons, I just adjust the temperature coming through here. Pretty clever. If I want to do my seats, I just push it in and I just go from there. Okay, so I can always control my seats. My fan setting, once I press this fan setting, I can now adjust it using the left-hand dial. If I use my off-road modes, this dial now becomes my off-road mode as well, which is a really clever system, good way to use the space. Or to turn off your auto stop start, which a lot of you ask how to do it, literally just press it straight from there, okay? To turn off the traction control, which we wouldn't suggest unless you're on sand, that button through there. You also have a USB power supply here. The gear selector is a little bit different. So it's similar to the Range Rover Sports and the SV models in our range. So trigger style. So trigger in, single pull back for drive. Trigger in, single push forward for reverse. And we see the camera pops up. With the camera, so this will give you 360 sensors and the camera coming on here. If you ever want to adjust any of the settings for this, just press the little settings button through here. And just jump into camera settings. And this is where you can choose, you know what, I don't want the parking aid graphics on, but I want the parking guidance on. So you can actually customize it, and you'll hear the sensors going off now. If the sensors are ever too loud, you can just use the dial here to adjust the volume. The controls in the door card, top 2 controls here, that'll be for your mirror adjustment. So once you press the button you want to change, so we'll go on the right hand side here, we can now use that to move it in, move it out. Window adjustment through here. Child lock, it's an electric child lock in a Disco Sport, so that's going to be coming through here. And your lock and unlock for the car itself, it's just going to be in there. For the Discovery Sport's fitted with the panoramic glass roof, this will be for your cover. So single pull across, and you see that'll be coming across. All cars will have the in control setup. So your optimized roadside assistance, just press that. Hold that button down, that will call roadside assistance for you. This button here is SOS, so definitely don't call it unless you do need 000. By pressing that down with the red button, we will set that up with the In Control Connect app on delivery. With the lights here, they're literally just touch sensitive. So for the middle row on the Discovery Sport, this is actually all adjustable. So you can actually bring this forward and back by using the bar underneath. You also have obviously a little drinks holder through here, a little added storage space just coming down. For the rear seats to recline them, there's just basically a little lever just on the side, so you can basically bring the seat forward, but more importantly, you can actually bring the seat back, which is really good for kids with child seats. To get into the back seats, you just do a lever on top of the seat, and that'll come forward, and that's how to access the back seats from there. To go back, one hand on the bottom, one hand on the top, click it back in, back in from there as well. So thanks very much for tuning in, watching this Discovery virtual handover. Any questions you've ever got on this or your own Discovery sport, look, feel free to ask myself or the team. Always here to help. Thanks very much. Let's talk soon. Cheers.